Hello, buddies of the iPod variety. We are live, as usual. I'm going to try this without glasses because I don't think anyone's here yet. But tonight, we are supposed to have Laura from SmugBug here to talk about Leachianus geckos. So she's not here yet, so she's going to miss. We're going to get back to a classic part of the show. If I turn like this, you can see the thing. We're going to get back to a classic part of the show where I try stuff and eat stuff. So first thing we have on hand is our Cadbury mini eggs. I only have 3 bags of these left. I think we've discussed this before, that Easter has the best candy, and that's 100% accurate. So comments if you disagree. If you choose to be wrong, you can. That's on you. We have a viewer. Welcome to the show. Make yourself known. I'm going to guess it's Justin. I'm going to guess it's Jedi Monkey. That's my guess. In other news, so we're going to eat. It's Cassandra Pope. I was so wrong. Hey, Cassandra, how are you? You're in time. I wanted one person here, just for one person, to announce that we have a new Patreon subscriber. So, Michelle, I don't know your like tag name, and I don't want to give out like your full name because that's what shows up on my stupid Patreon. It gives like your full name or like your Patreon name or maybe your email. But I got your full name. I will say it rhymes, and I thought that was really funny. I hope that's on purpose. I hope you married someone whose last name rhymes with your first name, because I have a customer at the bank that I work at whose name is Candy Cane, and she didn't realize her name was going to be Candy Cane literally until the wedding, apparently. She's not smart. Well, I shouldn't say that because you could probably figure out who she is. She's not super smart, but I think she would know that. Wait, you still have them in stock for the chocolate eggs? What chocolate eggs? Just got back from doing BAM hunt classes. What is a BAM hunt? You're hunting BAMs? What is that? It's just us, Cassandra. Oh, wait, there's 2 more people here. So keep it NSFW or SFW. SFW. Laura Taylor's here. Why can't the little people be happy and watch the craziness? I don't know, man. And it wasn't Jedi Monkey. You left me alone. Barn? Oh, barn. I don't have my glasses on. You're barn hunting? So, like, do you hunt in a barn? Are you looking to buy a barn? Do you hate barns? Are you going to shoot a barn? Like some governor shot a dog and it bragged about it in her book? Noem? Noem. Christy Noem. Sorry. I'm super political, and I try not to spill that over, but she bragged in a memoir about shooting a 14-month-old dog, hunting down the barns. Okay. Is your barn mobile? But anyway, yeah, I don't like to talk about politics, but I feel like if you admit you shot a dog, like it's nothing, like that means you're like from the streets of like hunky people, I guess. Shooting a dog, does that give you cred? I don't, does that make you tough? Like, I don't know, man. Because the dog was killing chickens, apparently. I don't know. It was her chickens, so I guess they're valuable chickens, more valuable than a dog. Dog event that the dog finds a hidden rat in hay in their time. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's good. So the dog, I'm assuming a terrier. There's a rat in the hay. Is the rat in a cage, or do they get to murder the rat? The rat is alive. I figured that much because that's a sport then. But is it like loose, or is it in a cage and they just have to like get to it? Now I need to YouTube this because I bet it's fascinating. We got to do a whole episode, Cassandra. We got to do an episode on rat barn hunting. Any breed can do it. Okay, so what breed do you have, Cassandra? What breed do you have? We're off the rails because Laura's not here yet. Her kids apparently are being kids, and it's a sealed tube. Okay. So the dog can't get to the live rat. He just has to find the live rat in some hay. Okay. English cream golden retriever. Okay. All right. That sounds like a beautiful dog. Fun fact, most dog attacks happen from Labrador retrievers. That's for real. It's only because it's the most popular dog in the world. Another announcement. My small enclosure of ember bees, you can't see anything of it. I have babies. I have Manka, ember bee Manka, you guys. And I haven't even had them that long. Like, honestly, I haven't had them that long. Also, honestly, I'm going to move this leaf because I don't trust it. It's up on the vent, and I don't want any problems. But the ember bees have babies. Yeah. It was pretty quick. I've only had them like 2 months, maybe. I've only actually fed them twice. So, like, actual food. So that's like 2 months. I'm slacking. Did we find the escape artist? Yeah. What? Which escape artist? I'm so behind. I'm not keeping up with comments tonight, guys. I don't know. I'm caffeinated. I watched too many reruns of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, here we go. I think she's ready. I just got a text. Just getting her microphone ready. We want to hear what she says, right? So who's ready to see Leachies? I just got duckies. Hopefully they breed quickly. Jedi. Unless they sent you pregnant ones, you're not going to have duckies quickly. I'm sorry. I do have cheat codes for a setup for them that... Oh, my spider. Nah, we didn't find her. I'm moving literally everything in my basement right now, so I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure she's probably dead, but she hasn't shown up upstairs. So, very new to the sport. I'm learning new things every time. Okay, good. Because I just want to see what's up. Yeah, Jedi, I would expect 6 months. You're going to be seeing babies in 6 months. The shitty thing about duckies is you really won't see them until you have like 100. The babies burrow. They're constantly underground. They do pretty well. They're actually pretty easy. If I could do it, I couldn't breed zebras. All my zebras died. But yeah, the duckies always bred for me. I guess I sold off too many, or I gave them away to some guys at an expo, 3 different groups. And one was to a child who loves her duckies to this day. I don't remember the child, but she's beautiful. I remember her face and I remember her name. But yeah, so duckies, my remaining duckies dwindled and died off. Now there's Parake in there. But okay, guys, while we wait, we're gonna roast SmugBug's website today too, because I was looking for Leachy pictures on her website because I didn't want to steal someone else's. I mean, we're gonna see some. She's got some. I'm putting on my other monitor, but she's got some that she's gonna show us. But I wanted to see pictures in case we didn't see her. So anyway, the taste treat. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. The taste treat tonight is Coca-Cola spiced. This is a raspberry spiced Coca-Cola with other natural flavors. I don't know what raspberry spiced means. If anyone has had this before now, like, speak up now, because this is going to be, I imagine this is going to taste as bad as Coke Dream. I don't know for sure. Like, that's not a promise, but yeah, raspberry spice. I don't know what the frick that means, but we're going to get the full effect. I'm going to drink what I can. I'm hoping. I don't have anything else down here to drink. And I'm not looking forward to it. But I bought it like 3 weeks ago, and I'm doing this for you. So you who are watching this right now, whoever you are. So hopefully you don't have to. I don't even think it's in stores anymore. This is the traditional crack and sniff. Okay. Oh. All right. Okay, you know how... Oh, Jesus. You know how when you're outside of a Michael's around Christmas time, and they have those cinnamon-coated, like, pine cones outside the store? That's literally what this smells like. And I hate that smell. So I imagine I'm going to hate that taste. Cheers. Cheers. Not mango, so cheers. I might be surprised. Yeah, no, this is going to be real bad. Yep. It's exactly what it tastes like. It tastes like the front of the store Michael's at Christmas time. This is horrible. I'm going to drink what I can. So I'm thirsty. Get migraines from the scented pine cones. Yeah, dude, I believe that, Cassandra. I believe that. Cool with your friend getting into ice pods. Get them Armadillidium paracai. They are an amazing, cheap, awesome isopod. There's a lot of variation in the colors or the grades of gray. It's like a grayscale. Oh, that would be a great common name. Grayscale isopod. I was calling them alloys before, but I think grayscale is way better. We can talk while you go get water. No, I'm good. I think. Jesus Christ. This is real. It's not as bad as the Coke Dream was. I don't know what episode that was, but I was openly gagging. I'm hoping it grows on me. I don't know why this came out at like Easter. You know what? The spice kind of went away. It's more like raspberry. Raspberry and Coke is not a good combo, though. It's not good. All right, it's not as bad as I thought. The second taste is better. Maybe my tongue is numb. I don't know. But let's see. I have 2 monitors now, so we're going to see if this works. We are going to try to share. Oh, there's Laura. So we'll wait to share. We'll wait to share this. She made it. So her kids are not. She has not murdered her children. I don't think. That's good. We are going to roast the website. I did just see a crested gecko. That is a beautiful gecko. I want to show him off. But his name is Plumbus. And that is the best name. That's how I know that on some level, Laura and I are soul brains. So she's drinking something. Let's bring her on. I was going to get you with a big swig.
It's too fast for you.
I was too slow. I don't have my glasses.
I almost wore a meme shirt that was a reference to the early 2000s IM, and I'm like, the audience is not going to get this reference. So it
was an IM?
Yeah.
It was an IM reference. Nice pod.
Instant messaging. I had to change the shirt.
See, I don't know why they changed it, because it's still instant messaging. It's still text. And it's still, I don't know. IM sounds so much cooler, but people are stupid. So we got Laura Taylor, Cassandra Pope, somebody who's really quiet, and Green Jet Monkey, and maybe your husband. I'm going to assume Mr. SmugBug.
He doesn't really know anything about the geckos. So though I love him dearly, he wouldn't really contribute much.
Okay. I'm just saying there's 5 viewers, which is huge. So.
Oh, yeah. Might be him.
Yeah. You might get a lot of business off of this episode. Let me just tell you. Let me show you guys Plumbus real quick, because he kind of looks like a Plumbus. Like, this picture is perfect.
He really does.
Here we go. I don't know if you guys know what a Plumbus is, but this is it right here. Can you see my mouse, or do I have to do it over here? Here we go.
I can see it, yeah.
There he is. This part in here, this is the Plumbus part. Okay. If you didn't know. If you don't watch Rick and Morty, I have like the Rick and Morty Lego sets. So I have like 13. Every set came with a Plumbus, a little Lego Plumbus. And I should build a setup for isopods with Plumbuses everywhere. That would be good. But yeah, there's some good looking geckos on here. But are there any Leachies in here?
I don't have any listed. I only have a few pairs.
Okay.
I need to go through and figure out who to list.
My favorite name, there was an infinity patternless, which made me laugh because it would not have a pattern forever. There it is. She would not. Why is it not? It's such a small photo. But she has no pattern, so of course it'll be infinity, no pattern. It's funny. It's just funny to me. Mm-hmm. It's my dumb brain. So yeah, hopefully I'm not revealing anything of my own stuff here. Okay, no inappropriate links up here. That's good. Okay, good. All right, let's take this out. We're going to talk. So you brought some treats for us. You got some treats for us to see.
Oh my gosh.
Is that right?
Well, that's why I was late. I was frantically packing up these animals. And my husband had a deal at work, so he was a little bit late. It's just...
Did he not know it was show day? Did he not? I told him.
I did tell him, but...
people don't take it serious. Now we have to work on punishments.
I love Ben dearly. I'm not going to say anything bad.
No, it's fine.
But it's the cross-eye bear marrying someone with ADHD. Time management is difficult.
Are you like insane about time management too? Like being on time for things?
I have to be.
Yeah.
I used to be very bad and then I got very good, but I don't know. He works as a car salesman and it takes a lot.
Oh yeah. That's not a 9 to 5 like that can be.
No.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
But it can be really good. It can be financially good.
Yeah.
But yeah, my car's in the shop right now. But
would not recommend, but he likes it.
What, being a car salesman?
Yes.
I've thought about it. I think I could pull it off, but maybe not.
It's really good for people with ADHD because you guys are very charismatic.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Okay, I might be that guy. So when I'm in a good mood, I'm also that guy that'd be like, "Nah, I don't even like you. I'm not selling you a car."
Yeah, you have to. That can be really useful though if you got someone just kicking your tires. You know.
Yeah, just walk away.
One of my leechies already pooped in his container. He stinks.
Beautiful. Get him out now.
He's raising his tail because he is prepared for the next load. He is notorious for pooping on us. He is. He let a little bit out just as like a threat.
Oh. Because they're not super friendly, right? Okay, so Leachies is a big boy. Oh.
Smells like farts. You smell so bad.
I mean, he's pooping. I don't know.
I'm just going to dump this. I'll be right back.
Yeah. That's why I love to do live shows. That gecko is just like, I'm out. Or Ope? Is that the Midwest? Ope? Is that the thing? I'm going to look for care sheets and see if I can find some information. How not to kill your isopods. Okay, cool. Food, water, somewhere to hide. All right, that's SmugBug's advice. There's also a PDF that you can get on the website. I was looking at your isopod care, how not to kill your isopods.
Oh, yeah.
It's in depth. Food, water, somewhere to hide.
Ben wrote that section. Don't whistle.
Ben's my hero.
He did.
Is he angry? Now, these guys can be a little chompy, right?
The larger varieties. He is a new Anna, which is like between them and the new Ami. They're the smallest varieties, so these guys are pretty docile.
Okay. As he goes for you. I mean, he just took a dive. So, and he's getting his feet wiped. Like he was going to spread that around. He had intentions.
Smells so bad. This is why people call them poop pickles.
Poop pickles.
Yeah.
I called him living scrotums, but
they're poop pickles.
Yeah. That's why. Did you guys see my name today? Scrotone. Yeah, Lone. It's Lone. It's Lone, but that's okay. Yeah, it's a family name.
Laura Taylor.
She's out there. When you gotta go, you gotta go. That's true, Cassandra. That's true. Cassandra said she had to squat in a barn today with a bunch of people around. That's crazy. That can be difficult. So all right. So these guys are from New Caledonia, which is only new because we didn't find it until we found a bunch of other stuff, right?
Well, they were documented, I think, in the 1800s initially.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they were mostly collected during that expedition where they rediscovered the crested geckos.
Okay. Rediscovered.
Yeah, they thought that they were extinct, and then they found samples, and they're like, whoa, we got to take these guys back to America. And that's when they kidnapped all of them.
They're not extinct. Let's take them all. That sounds like
us. Well,
sounds like us.
They didn't take them all because there's another species that looks almost identical to crested geckos. They're fine. They're fine.
They didn't want those ones.
Don't want those.
Seeing Laura live. It is weird seeing Laura on my show. It is. It's perfect.
Why? Because you talk shit about me all the time?
Yep. No, he said...
live on a... It's Nikki.
Nikki? Hi, Nikki.
She talks to me every day on my TikTok live streams.
Nice. Yeah, I can't get into TikTok yet. So, but let's stay focused. All right, let's try. I'm going to try.
It's so hard to be focused. Oh, this is the one that smells really bad.
I've been all over the place. So we got more poop?
Poop pickles, I told you.
That's all they're doing. Okay. They do not want to be on the show.
It's not that they don't want to be on the show. They're just very nervous and they have panic poops.
Okay.
Happens to the best.
The tail just stayed up. So this is a girl, clearly smaller than...
the one currently paired to Fungi.
And Fungi was the one who was just out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I am paying attention.
This is
I didn't realize how big
they're... another new Anna.
Okay. Good. No hybrids, right?
Well, I mean, technically they're not considered hybrids because they're all the same species. The difference is locale or the island or the part of the island they were collected on. So it would be mixed locales. Okay. So like you wouldn't call a dog mix a hybrid, it's a mixed breed.
I would okay. I like mutt. I like the word mutt, but I get it.
I mean they are. The non-locale specifics, which is the fancy way to say it, are mutts.
Okay, got you. So, and then they have the designer breeds. The designer breeds. God, I'm so mad I didn't get in on the ground floor of breeding like 2 dogs that people want together to make a mutt and then sell it for like $1,600.
It's disgusting. You don't want to get me started on designer dogs.
Okay, good. I won't. I think it's so funny. If you bought a just a heads up, if you're watching this and you bought a Labradoodle thinking it was gonna be hyperallergenic, I'm sorry. That's not the case.
That's not how genes work.
There's only like one but like one actual breed that actually was hypoallergenic, but it was like 1 litter. So yeah, it's not a thing. So they're lying to you. But I know we're way off. We're way off topic again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the size of claws these guys had. Like I know they have the toe pads, but their claws are kind of insane. Yeah, he's hooked right on you. Yep, there you go. And you're
wait
clearly
until you see I bring out the Grand Terra mix.
Oh, look at that. Those are the claws. They're kind of sheathed, but they're all set there. Hey, Wally.
Hi, Wally.
Yeah, I've been trying to get somebody to talk Leachies for 3 years now. So
they're fine. But these are the new Annas, so they're the smallest variety. Most of mine tap out at about 200 grams. They reach maturity faster than the other ones. Like I have a Grand Terra type A, which is a mix of Yate and one other specific locale. They're specifically mixed for color and size. Yeah. They take 5 to 6 years to mature. These guys only take 3. Technically, you could pair them around 2 years old, but I stay on the cautious side, so they fully develop, and I pair at 3, like my Chihuahua. But they're known for being smaller, more docile, and more colorful. And I'll show you some of these guys' babies. Their babies are stunning. And it was hard to show you on Lycan since he was falling all over the place and pooping. But their babies, oh my gosh, the pinks on them are so thick. One of them has like latte artwork on her back. It's so cute.
It's got like a latte Christmas tree going on.
But these new Annas are very docile. Like they have like a little bit of barrier aggression basically, and then kind of a bit territorial. But if you just reach in, you grab them right away. They're just like this.
They're just like, oh, okay, I didn't know you were gonna do that. My bad. Like a Chihuahua.
I didn't realize who you were.
We're gonna keep going to dogs. When I was a vet tech, Chihuahuas were like the worst to try to murder you. So I reached out. If you're going to be a vet tech, this is a tip for you. Have the owner turn the dog around and hand it to you butt first. And that dog could be trying to murder you. And as soon as it's in your arm, they're going to look at the owner like, I thought we were cool. And that they're going to be fine. I promise you. You will not get bit. All right. So these guys, what are we talking in clutches for these guys? That's not
They kind of top out at 4 clutches a year. I'm sure that there's people who get more, but I usually get 4 to 5 clutches if I'm really lucky a year. And you get really lucky if they're all fertilized. Rosapelli and fungi get along really well. They've never left even breeding markings on each other. So they've been housed together for almost 2 years now. But the previous female that fungi was with was Lichen, and she almost killed him like 5 times before I finally gave up. Although he fertilized her, and they made some really pretty babies.
Okay, good for him.
I forgot their daughter downstairs. Her name is Kikurage. She's turning out really, really nice. But
good. Now, how big are the clutches? That was my next question, and Justin beat me to it.
2 huge eggs. Wait, I'm gonna be able to get Ben to assist me. Hey, Ben. 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can get him to grab the eggs.
Ben's the dog.
Ben, can you downstairs and grab me?
She has those 5 dogs. Guys, I can't find any Leachies on the site. But apparently all of the crested geckos that she sells, they're not even sexed yet, and they have names. And it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Beauty and the Beast is one gecko. Artemis, you'll be able to see exactly what kind of nerd Laura is if you go down there and see her gecko names. It's amazing. 100 tampons is what...
The theme last year was space. So, do you know how 100 tampons is space related?
No, but I was going to ask as soon as I calmed down.
When the first female astronaut went to space, it was like Sally something or another. I forget her last name.
Oh my God.
They gave her 100 tampons removed from their packaging with the strings tied together in case she would get her period in the 6 days she was in space. And then they asked her if it was enough.
They're all tied together.
Yeah, they're all tied together. Like some weird bundle of things. Sally Ride, there you go.
I see like a dandelion. Like, you know how the dandelion like petals are all just like together? Like That's what I'm seeing in my head, but it's just one clump.
Yeah, just bring me the whole box.
The string. Okay, that's good. That's good. So 2 eggs. They may or may not be fertilized. What's the fertilization rate in your opinion, like roughly?
I mean, so a lot of times, like the first clutch gets missed if you haven't had them together the whole time. Okay. But like if a pair accepts each other, they do pretty well. You can kind of tell how well they're doing by how fertilized they are.
Those are good size eggs. That's like
these are like 3-4 weeks old. And they will continue to swell. They're hilarious right before they hatch because they get so swollen with stretch marks. They'll like
eggs have stretch marks.
Probably expand out to here, and it's just like a little ball. Like it looks like a golf ball by the time it's ready to hatch.
I know nothing about reptile breeding, like the eggs growing and all of it. No. Okay, so that's a size difference.
Oh no, they're the same thing. Sorry, this is the same clutch.
Okay.
I do have. Let's see, Saracen eggs. And
I feel like you're about to do a magic trick. Like, which hand is it in? Neither.
So there's a Saracen egg.
Okay.
And
that's a smaller locale, yeah?
And that one's been incubating for about 2 months.
Okay.
And that's not a locale, it's a different species. Sorry, Saracenorum. Their eggs are similar to crested geckos. This is a chipua egg, which are also quite large.
And stuck together.
Oh, yeah, they're egg gluers. A lot of times I'll have to peel them off stuff.
Okay, fair. Yeah, you're going to have to talk to me about these geckos like I don't know anything, because I kind of don't. So I'm not too proud to say that.
I've been doing an okay job. Here's one of her babies. This one is 10 days old.
Okay. So, yeah, like double the size of the egg. And they're all folded up. Now, see, if they stayed that size, I could have like a dozen of those. But they're not very friendly with each other, just like most.
If you want something like that, you should get morning geckos.
I'm going to, but
or Bavaya. Have you heard of Bavaya?
No.
Those are colony species from New Caledonia.
They have the best geckos, apparently.
Huh?
They have the best geckos, apparently. Like all
they do. I really enjoy New Caledonian species. There are day geckos too, but day geckos are crazy.
Yeah, day gecko is a whole different thing. Okay,
I
so
haven't had twins hatch successfully, Cassandra. I do have a Siamese twin that didn't survive because their bodies are separate, but they're connected at the head. So typically there's not enough room in the egg for them to properly split or develop. It does happen, though. I have seen it with crested geckos, not with other species.
Crested geckos, twins.
So do you know what the difference is between fraternal and identical twins?
Kind of, yes, because the identical twins, the egg splits, and the paternal is like there's just two eggs that get.
Yeah, so in fraternal twins, it is two entirely separate eggs that are released at the same time and fertilized by two completely different sperm. So essentially, every clutch of eggs is fraternal twins in geckos, since they lay two eggs at a time. Okay. Identical twins, you're correct, is in one egg that splits into two. And so if there is two animals in one egg, the yolk split into two, but the outer parts of the egg with the shell did not. So it's two separate yolks inside the same egg that develop.
That doesn't sound comfortable for them at all. So I'm going to guess survival rate is really low, right?
I've seen one or two occasions on social media of successful twinning in geckos. I've seen it a lot in snakes, but there's literally 37,000 ball pythons for sale on Wharf Market right now. So
in it's one just person's house. Game. That's from one breeder's house.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to try to take a picture of every ball python at NARBC in Schaumburg when I come. And
why?
Because I want to waste my phone. I want to just see if I can bomb out the storage on my phone. Because there are so many. Like, they're beautiful. Like, God bless if you're a ball python breeder and watching this, like, God bless you. Because I don't know how you put up with all the competition and all the craziness.
I have two pet ball pythons. They're beautiful, lovely animals.
Yeah.
There's so many breeders. I could never get into making it part of my business plan because it's steep, and it's kind of cutthroat. Some of them are a little bit much.
Every animal is cutthroat. Every single animal, like, you should know that. Oh, so they do jump.
Oh, yeah.
When they're little.
Look at that. It looks like latte art. No, the big ones jump too.
Oh, this is the one. Yeah. It looks like they just took that toothpick right down the middle. Now, are they going to keep these markings, or is it like where they just kind of...
The reason I don't sell them right away is, I want to establish them. But, like, I like to watch their patterns develop, and their patterns develop and spread over them over time.
Okay. There we go. We're going to put you a big screen so that... I don't know why I didn't do that earlier.
So this is another fungi baby. This is with fungi and lichen, who is a man-eater.
It's almost like footprints. On his back, it's almost like footprints when you look down the back. They're like offset a little bit.
Yeah, he really does.
So it's like donk, donk, donk. You can keep that name. That's fine. That's cool.
This one was named John Glenn.
John Glenn. All right. That's, yep. Nothing's going to ever beat 100 tampons, but that's great.
I was so sad 100 tampons turned out homely because I was like, I would have left this one to live at my house forever.
Oh, poor thing. Poor thing. Here's my dumb tampon right here. There you go. You're just one big tampon, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Useful, but nobody brags
about it. You named your cat Tampon?
No, his name is Widget. He's the cat that I love, hate. Okay, now who's this? Like a red.
This is another fungi baby. This one was with Rosapelli, who we showed earlier. And I'm honestly kind of glad that lichen tried to kill fungi because Rosapelli is a much better match. They make such nice babies.
Now here's where I get where I don't know anything about breeding. So these guys clearly they take a couple of years at least to mature enough to breed. Mm-hmm. They have, well, by your numbers, they have like 8 eggs a year. Mm-hmm. And a percentage of those don't make it. So let's say 6, maybe, right?
Yep.
You say 6 of those 8 make it?
Once you have an established pair, that's why older proven pairs are higher valued than young virgins, because once they've been established, the body just starts pumping them out. Like Rosapelli and Fungi so far have laid 2 clutches, all fertile, look great. They've already hatched 2 babies this year.
Okay, so it's when they are established and good to go, and like their body knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, the most difficult part is getting them to accept each other, because they're such aggressive breeders, and they just beat the hell out of each other. I've got Corn Smut here, who I had paired to Lichen, and I had to separate for the past 6 weeks, so that his scar, and you can still see some scars, like they're really bad.
Poor Corn Smut.
His brother is Huitlacoche, if you know what that is.
I don't, but Corn Smut is. I see Corn Smut on like a magazine rack in Iowa. That's what I'm envisioning, and it's like corn-related porn. Like that's what I'm envisioning.
No, okay, Corn Smut is a street food. It's a fungus that grows on corn, and it's particularly well known in Mexico.
The blue stuff.
Yeah.
With that blue fungus. Okay. I didn't know it was smut. That's too funny. So, yeah, see, you're talking to somebody that's just interpreting. And I admitted, I just watched way too many episodes.
So it's working.
Yeah. I watched way too many episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine before this. So, and you're drinking cough medicine, so that's good.
It's not. It's kombucha.
Oh, gross. Okay, cool. Cool.
Cough medicine. I wouldn't do that with witnesses.
It's cough medicine. It's a cough medicine jar. Okay, so you're getting, when they're established, you're getting 8 a year to 10. I feel like 8's probably good. You're not stressing them out as much, right? Because how long do they live? Like, how long are we talking?
30-ish years.
30 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know.
Production is noted to drop off around the 20-year mark.
Yeah, but then you kind of retire them or whatever, right? You just kind of...
I mean, if a pair is tolerating each other and the animals are not drastically losing weight, staying healthy, I don't separate them. Like, I have a Velarde trio that I've had together for the past almost 10 years. In the last 5 years, I haven't really laid any babies, but all the animals are perfectly healthy. And although they're not producing, they're doing fine. So from a business aspect, they could be retired as pets, so sold at a very severe discount with the disclaimer they're not really producing eggs.
See, and that's the kind I want, so hook me up. Let me know if you're selling any retirees, because I don't want to pay a lot for this muffler.
In 20 years.
Yeah, I'll wait 20 years. That's when I'll be ready. So, no, I love them. I would love to. I'm such a budget piece of shit. Like, I don't have any money for any of this stuff, so I'd rather spend the money on the setup. I feel like if you don't have the money for the setup, you don't have the money for the creature, and I have that budget where I have either or, and I'd rather they have a good life. I
agree.
So that's my thing, because I'm not a breeder. I'm not that, you know what I mean? Not that breeders have worse setups, but it's not a total thing in my life.
Well, I mean, before I had 600 animals and I just had 40, each one had their own individual setup. It was all set up bioactive for its specific needs. They all had their own individual lighting. It's a lot more doable when they're your pets and it's a hobby, and it makes a lot more sense. I mean, like, I've got this stupid hamster with 6 inches of substrate in my living room. No one ever touches him, and he just runs on his wheel. Like, there was one night, it was like 10 o'clock, and he usually gets on his wheel every night at 9:30, and you can hear it squeaking and running. And my husband goes, "Is the hamster okay?" So we had to go and check on this hamster that we never handle and we never touch, and we just like throw seeds at to make sure he was still alive. And he was fine. He just slept in.
That's too funny. Is he okay? My second hamster just died recently. My little winter white dwarfs. We bought them at a severe discount because they were evil. And
that's so sad. We had a pair of winter white, or a female, like sisters. They were so cute. They were so sweet. They would snuggle right in your hands.
Well, they became that, but in the store, like they went to attack the kid who put his hand. Oh, there we go.
This is Corn Smut.
This is Corn Smut. She's shedding. Now they eat their shed too, just like everybody else, right?
They do, but when they're this close and I'm on a live stream, I like to take it off, especially if I'm trying to show you scars. Do you even have any visible scars left, sir?
Nice. See, I'm that guy. This is an admission, guys. You're going to hear this. So one of the things we did as a family with my absentee father when he was around and got sunburned, which was often, we would wait until he peeled, and my sister and I would see who could get the biggest ones off of his back.
Canal.
Oh my god! Does it go straight through like a leopard?
Yes.
You see sunlight on the other side and know why they're derpy?
Yes. It can be hard to like get the right angle though because of all their folds.
Sure. Because they're a scrotum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I get it. When you say that to a breeder at a show that you don't know, when you're like, oh man, you've got the best scrotums, it doesn't get a great response. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm going to still do it every time.
Oh my God, I crack weird jokes all the time. And the breeders that don't know me, but know I'm a big deal, kind of think I'm insulting them. And I'm like, I'm super sorry. I'm really autistic and I have trouble reading the room. I'm doing my best.
I feel like you need like a tattoo or something.
Forgive me, I'm autistic.
I don't have the autism not reading the room. I just don't usually care. Like it's funny for me, and that's what I care. Best gecko right there. There's Luch.
This is what I mean by the new Annas are very docile. If this was a Pointy or a Yate, he'd be trying to murder me right now.
So okay, so how many locales are there? Because you mentioned like 37 already, and I
think there's like 10 or 15.
10 or 15, okay.
There are some that are like super duper rare. I know that there's some that like Steve Sykes from Leachianus collected.
Yeah.
And he never got to reproduce in captivity, which was very sad.
I'm trying to get Steve to come on the show. I didn't know he was that big. That's probably why he didn't come on.
Yeah, you have a hard time. I have a hard time getting him to even respond to emails when I'm looking to buy. So
okay, good. All right, then. That's probably why he never returned my emails.
Yes.
He
hasn't even. Have you heard of the Gecko Pod hosted by AJ?
Nope.
Okay. He hasn't even been on that, and AJ even got Anthony from ACR Reptiles to be on there, and he hosts. Look at all that. He supplies all of the PetSmarts with geckos.
Okay.
I think he produces a ridiculous amount of geckos per year. He said on the show, but I don't even remember how many. But you can kind of see right here some scarring.
Oh yeah.
His head was basically bald of skin when I pulled him 6 weeks ago, and he's already healed up. There's some old scarring there. It's kind of difficult to see. These guys are so versatile.
What do you mean by versatile?
Like, they bounce back really well from injuries.
Okay. Good. I just think, it's all that extra skin, right? It's like the Shar-Pei of lizards. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble for calling a gecko a lizard, am I? I mean, they're lizards.
They are lizards. All geckos are lizards, but not all lizards are geckos.
Okay, so they're like Christians. Okay, cool. Really? That's just gonna go? Come on, somebody LOL me. Come on, I need it. I need the attention. All right, is this the one who beat the shit out of that last one?
No, this is Fungi again. He had a tear so big in his middle, it looked like she tore out an umbilical, and it's completely gone. He's just got some minor scarring left on his face from her. So
the girls are just like, no mas. This is over.
It's lichen specifically. But typically, in my collection, it is the females that attack the males. But that's because the males are so dedicated to fertilizing the female.
Okay. So it's like a kamikaze system.
Yeah.
What they've got going on, like do or die, literally. Okay, I get that.
You gotta pass on those genes, you know?
Yeah, I've been to prom. I understand. So cool. What were the other questions I had? So feeding. I know that in the wild they eat crested geckos. So, and I know you have a lot of crested geckos. Is that a situation?
They are opportunistic feeders.
Yeah.
But the larger locales again are more prey driven than the smaller ones. Because I hatched out I had some temperature incubator fluctuations. I had a cat jump on the incubator and it turned the temperature up really high and then it got turned down. And so I hatched a gecko out that year that didn't have any eyes.
Okay.
And with temperature fluctuations, usually it affects the eyes a lot. And it's like, oh, I have to euthanize this thing. It doesn't have eyes. It can't see. And so I gave it to Leachianus, my Leachie, who was several times its size. I'm like, this is great. I have a little predator in my living room that'll recycle it. She hid from it. I had to give it to my skinks because she hid from it. I've tried to give them pinky mice to boost their fats and calcium, and they scream at me and they hide.
So they scream? Are you serious?
Yeah. Mostly they whistle.
Okay. Or don't make them. That's fine. I believe
one guy was doing it earlier. He's a really big whistler. Oh, okay. My big boy over here. This is my Grand Terra Type A. He's a big whistler.
He's a whistler.
You gonna show me how scared you are?
Is he scared? Is he flared up right now? Because that's dark brown.
He is fired up, yes. And he's also terrified and juicing me.
Okay.
Hey, Ben. I need a disinfectant wipe.
Yeah, you do.
Under the sink, dude. Babe. Love of my life. Under the sink.
Yeah.
He's digging into my fingers here too.
Yeah. So their tail is prehensile. Does it detach? Or they have?
It does. And I have two that have detached and regrown it. And if you look at his face, you can see it's really long and angular. I'll show you one of the other locales again. Their faces are very different. So even structurally, besides the size, they are different. He is a very high color Grand Terra. Grand Terra meaning the mainland.
Okay. Oh boy.
But I think he's a Grand Terra Yate cross.
Okay.
Aren't there Clorox wipes under the sink? He brought me glasses cleaning wipes.
These safety goggles and so I'm drinking Coca-Cola spiced. Because I don't know, I didn't do it last time you were on, but I try to eat or drink something new and see what happens. And this is not as disgusting as I thought, but it's not good. It's not good.
Why are you like this?
Because I need the attention. So,
just somebody pay attention to me.
I just need the attention. That's what YouTube's for, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these guys are from all over the islands, obviously different. It's kind of like this is reminding me very much of a Galapagos situation where they have the different areas, the different finches or whatever, evolve for a different niche.
Sir.
These are just yeah, he's really not happy.
No.
So
stinky. Can we just finish? Cloudier. His name is Cloudier.
I'm eating cauliflower pizza. It's the saddest pizza I've ever eaten. Good, Justin. Good. Justin eats everything.
Oh my god. Yeah, anyway, this is why most people call them poop pickles.
Yeah, so these are kind of display animals, huh? They're not.
Well, you can handle them. Lycan, she's the one I've had for 7 years now. Very handleable. This guy we've been handling for a really long time just because we knew he was going to get so big. And although he is docile, he is now panic pooping. He's not used to being manhandled like this because I'm trying to show him off for the camera. You can see he's got super duper big, thick pinks there.
Yeah.
And he is still growing. It's going to be another year of growth for him. And
okay. He's still got it going. So he's used to it. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it is a weird situation. And they're basically nocturnal. What's the setup size now for your pair? Like when you have them paired together?
So these guys I'm going to be putting in a 2 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot enclosure.
Okay.
The new Annas I have in 50-gallon equivalents. I have them in large tubs.
Together? Like the two are together?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rosapelli and fungi are in a 50-gallon equivalent tub.
And are they doing like a what do you guys call it? A hide box or something, or a humid box?
I don't bother with play boxes. What I do is bio, and I just like to punish myself and upheaval my entire gecko setup monthly. So
you just dig around in there every month.
Every month, we make it an event. We broadcast it on live, and random people watch my TikTok stream and tell me to clean my nails.
Hey, Moon.
Great.
Tell you to clean your nails
as I'm digging through dirt.
That's good advice. I mean, if I could mansplain anything to a woman, it would be about cleaning your nails. So I get it.
I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Guys, what do you have? Oh, how long are they paired together? I'm going to keep that question up, Cassandra. Cassandra came here to learn something tonight. This is good. Yeah, this is one of the species that I kind of want. I wanted one until I held one. And then I don't know, I just like lost the drive. They're still cool. I just kind of was like, oh, okay. I get it. I'm still a Crusty fan. I love a Crusty. I'd like to get a really nice one someday. But not just friendly, but like just a really cool looking. What are we looking at here? Dark-based extreme Harlequin. I think Harlequin's the way to go. Burner phone.
Okay, that one was named. There's a lot of animals in my collection that are in honor of Slutty Dan Shenanigans in Illinois.
Okay.
And that was named specifically after his burner phone because we thought it was so funny.
That's really funny.
Did you know they have dual laundromats and casinos in Illinois?
I do know that because I am in Illinois right now. I have one about a mile and a half from me. And I think
we thought genius. It was the funniest thing ever. You can do your laundry and gamble.
It's genius. The only problem is you have to decide what your quarters are for. You know?
Right?
Yeah,
maybe that's why it's like that. You bring extra quarters.
Yeah. So, I mean,
a whole roll of $10 in quarters.
Oh, you got to bring more than that. Yeah. Yeah. Working at a bank, we know who we're selling quarters to. So it happens all the time.
Cassandra, as long as they are tolerating each other, I keep them paired together. So they're paired together until they decide they don't want to be. Like fungi and Rosapelli, I said 2 years. I misspoke. It's been a year. But they were together most of last spring, all summer, all winter. I separated fungi from lichen and let him recover. He had managed to fertilize her, so she laid 2 or 3 fertile clutches for me. And then I put him in with Rosapelli because I'm like, she just wants to murder him. And him and Rosapelli accepted each other and haven't even left any breeding markings on each other. And they just hang out all the time.
So that's how you know it's meant to be. Like nobody bit anybody or...
And when that happens, they call it a bonded proven pair. So that you don't really have to have any concern about cohabitating them. But it's really common in larger species like that.
So they find a mate and then they're good.
They're like, I hate everyone except for this particular one I will tolerate.
So it's kind of good when it happens, obviously, but you need a lot of, like if I was just a rookie and like, I'm going to get a pair, like I'm going to get a male and I'm going to get a female and we're going to raise them and then see what happens. Like there's a pretty low shot that they're going to be chill, that I'm going to get out of that situation.
Well, I mean, I've paired up 3 different ones now. I've 4 total pairings. I think it's like 6, 7 or 8 total animals. We had fungi and lichen, and she tolerated him for a while, but I think he was just so enthusiastic about breeding, and she's an older female that she tolerated it for a while, and then she tried to kill him, so I separated them. And then I put him in a tank scented by a different species, and she tried to kill him within like 2 weeks. And then I put him in with Rosapelli, and she just immediately accepted him. I don't know if they like just vibe together. And then I put lichen with corn smut, and she tolerated him for a while, but again was too enthusiastic about breeding, and I had to separate them. He wasn't as injured as fungi, but more injured than I would like.
Sure.
And then I had paired Huitlacoche to a gecko my daughters had named Little Stinky Pickle Princess. And Little Stinky Pickle Princess decided she was not meant for this world and laid down on the bottom and died.
What? Wait, what? Laid down on the bottom of what?
The cage. Just died. There wasn't breeding markings on anyone. She wasn't emaciated. Usually, like if a gecko is really stressed and they aren't thriving, their spine will start to show and their hips will start to show and they'll get really emaciated. They'll get really dehydrated. She was perfectly well hydrated. She just like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or something and just kicked the bucket. She's like, nah, I do not want this dick appointment. I did not consent. I'm going to die instead.
Wow.
I raised that gecko for 3 years.
So you don't pair them. Cassandra just asked this. So you don't pair them until they're adult. You said 3 years, right? Basically.
Yep.
Because you wait till they're adults to pair them up. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think there'd be a lot of stress to be paired up as babies.
If you pair them as babies, they'll just compete and try to kill each other.
Okay. So they'd figure stuff out for their own, build some emotional.
The way that I recommend is I heard a trick where they're like, you put them in a tank and then you put a completely random gecko in the tank with them. So they're so confused they don't kill each other. I don't like to do that. I don't want to sacrifice another animal to secure my pairing. But what I do instead is I'll rotate animals through cages. And like, obviously these animals have been in my collection for years. Most of my breeders I got as babies and I raised up to adulthood. And so like the tank that I have lichen and corn smut in currently was previously inhabited by a Saracenorum pair.
Okay.
So it's scented by a male and female of a completely different breeding species. And then when they get put into the tank, they can't be territorial over it because it was a different animal's territory completely.
Okay. Okay.
If that doesn't work, people like to get them used to what they call scenting. So they'll flip the male and female between each other's tanks every 2 weeks for, I don't know, a while. And that's what I was doing with lichen after her and corn spot got into it. I just kept switching them back and forth between each other's tanks. And so far it's going okay.
So they get used to each other's smell. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like a big receptor for them. So I was going to ask that when you said something. That was literally, I was like, could you do that? That's a cool plan. That's a cool plan to get them used to each other without a lot of stress. I'm sure there's probably some initial stress, like, okay, I smell him. Where is he? Is he going to jump out here? I told him no means no. I try to bite him in half. No means no. Consent is important. So yeah, breeding can be pretty brutal. So but you're just leaving them together. So you're not just like tarantula people will sit and watch, or
with my tarantulas, I'll do that. Because with spiders, especially if you pair them, they will try and kill each other immediately after copulating.
Right.
With geckos, I mean, they either try and kill each other right away or they're fine. So
okay. So if you just wait for the introduction.
Yeah.
Part.
I mean, I what I usually do is I pair them when I'm working and feeding for the day, and when they start attacking, you can hear them screaming. I don't sit there and stare at them. I don't know.
Okay. Good. So you're not a gecko pervert. Okay, good.
No, I'm not into watching that stuff.
I mean, if you are, that's fine, but whatever. Oh, wow. So yeah, now I like that this one's like solid with just the spots.
This is the female Grand Terra type A.
So they do jump. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. We like to call that a will to live.
They just go. They just go.
I'm glad you think I'm so funny.
I mean, not everyone does. I got that from your comment sections on some of your stuff, but you know, it's fine.
Oh my God. I'm constantly struggling with not commenting your mom, and that's what she said jokes.
I could see that. When you called somebody an egg,
I do.
When you called that guy an egg, I peed my pants. That was the funniest thing I'd ever heard.
I also enjoy calling people absolute waffles.
Waffles.
People get really insulted when you compare them to breakfast food.
I just call them dum-dum. If you call someone a dum-dum, they lose their mind. And it's the best thing ever because it's so stupid. It's such a stupid thing to get mad about. I love Laura's mom's jokes. Laura's mom's jokes. Your mom has jokes?
No, your mom jokes.
No, I'm making fun of how Hooked on Geckos said it. He said or she said that they love your mom's jokes. So your mom's got jokes. You don't know it, but Hooked on Geckos knows it, which is kind of a mom joke. How do you tell when they're sleeping?
Their eyelids kind of dip down a little bit, and their eyeballs get kind of compressed like that.
So they do kind of have.
We also like to play what we call sleeping or dead. We're like sleeping or dead. Oh, sleeping.
That's good. That's good. That's a good run. Ay. Now, what is the cost like on these guys from the smaller? Is it like smaller ones are generally less, bigger ones cost more?
So the mixed locales I usually see between $300 and $500.
Okay.
The new Amis, which are the island locales, low quality ones usually start at $500. I usually start mine at like $800 to $900. I've sold them for over $1,200.
Okay.
I brought these Grand Terra mixes at $1,500 each.
Okay.
There's a Pine Island female I got. I haven't gotten her out yet. That's kind of like a medium-sized locale. Someone offered her to me at $800, and then I have some Moros as babies I got at $800.
Okay.
So it's like mixed locales are like $500 and down, pure locales $800 and up. The larger they are, the bigger they are. A pure Poindame, I was quoted from Leachianus at $5,000. I've seen them for $2,000 to $3,000.
I saw one for like $6,000 at a show, and I was like blown away. But it was like an adult proven breeder or something.
Yeah.
I don't. But it was.
And that quote was from a couple of years ago, so it might be a little bit out of it because the market did crash. You know, but Leachies are and always will be in high demand. Even I
can see why. Yeah. I mean, she's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Or he. I didn't check, but
this is the female for for Cloudier. This one's Apiospirina, which is a black deadly mold.
So now, okay, all right. So I think that's in my attic. So wait. This is how all my geckos are. Well, I've had like 4 ever. So
this is why you couldn't get a Leachy person on, because no one wanted to be sliced up for the camera.
But you're used to it.
Oh, this is when she dropped her tail. We didn't know why. We just opened it and her tail was dropped and gone. So we think she dropped it. It started flopping around and she ate it. But you can see where it grew back there.
I think we talked about this at some point. Yeah, I just said it's pretty chill and then it dives off your hand.
It's so dumb. And they grow back because they look like black bee stingers.
Yeah. They look like black what? I'm sorry?
They look like little black bee stingers. They look so stupid. Now it's like close-ish to her normal body color. Look, she dropped it and grew back. And then she dropped the tip again. She probably climbed on cork and it shifted and she got scared and dropped part of it.
At least it grows back on them. I kind of prefer the leopard or the cresty gecko, how it just doesn't. They're just like, okay, that was my one and done.
I love it when I get cat females that drop their tails because they look like little hamsters.
Yeah, I think that's like, because then you get that derpy tail. Like if a Leo drops its tail and then it tries to grow back and it looks like they stuck a weird potato on there. I almost dropped an F-bomb. It annoys me so much I almost just dropped an F-bomb on it. I
thought this is a show you swear on.
Yeah, I kind of getting away from that. I don't know. I'm working a lot of things. We're gonna see what happens. I've said shit like a whole lot, so I think we're good. We hit our quota. You're welcome to. You're welcome to say whatever you want. That's fine. Wait, I had so many other questions. So temperature-wise, like in their setups, like we're talking, what are we talking for? Like temps, lights, humidity? What are we talking?
I don't give them specific lighting. I know some people say they need heat. I've never used heat with my leachies. I keep them at they live in New Caledonia, like the crested geckos, and they're not canopy animals. So they're at the lower levels. So they might get a little higher and be in the warmer parts of the forest, but they're not going to be basking, you know?
Okay.
So they can benefit from UVB 1 to 2 hours a day, not much more than that. I don't offer it because, I don't know, they hide in their logs and poop in their dishes all day. They don't care. They don't have standards.
I feel like there's, no matter what animal you talk about, there's different opinions, different styles. So, and I feel like there's different styles between keepers, and we had an episode where we talked about the difference between like keepers and breeders. And I know that it sounds like it's the same thing, but it's like there's a different, you can put more effort and energy into keeping a few animals versus the efficiency. Like you're going to do what works as a breeder versus what's like the ideal. Like, oh, I want to recreate the wild and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, cool. But you can't do that for, however many leechies you have. You've got what?
They can certainly benefit to mimic a wild environment, but it's not necessary for them to thrive. Because you saw how thick mine are. I'm all diced up despite giving them all sorts of things to rake their claws over. What I do think is necessary is more frequent insect feeding in comparison to other New Caledonians. Yes, that's what they look like. Circumcised sausages. It's so gross. But I especially like the larger locales, they need that protein to develop correctly. Okay. They need like larger food dishes and they need more space, but not as much as you would think because they naturally inhabit tree groves or tree grooves. Like there was a study where they found 5 leachies in a log and they came back 10 years later and the same 5 leachies were in the same log.
Oh my God. So
look it up. It's a real study. It's hilarious.
I'm going to check it out. That's
funny. Don't move a lot and they don't go a lot of places. They obviously need space to turn around, kind of kennel situation. But if they have a large setup, you need to put like specifically cork rounds that are safe for them to get into and out of and hide, because that is what's natural to them. And I think the cork is really important because it helps them file on their nails.
So they'll keep growing like a cat. You'd have to trim them if they don't have something to wear.
I don't know. I've never had to trim a gecko nail, but I could see that being an issue if they didn't have a natural material to work on,
I think it's overkill that they have the claws and the freaking toe pads. Like,
have you seen how big those toe pads are too?
Yeah, they're like a thumb. It's like your finger pads. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. So they could stick on upside down somewhere and still velociraptor you at the same time. Like, that's crazy. How often are you feeding them? Like, every other day. The fruit stuff too, right? Do they eat the fruit stuff too?
Yep. We feed them Thursdays and Sundays, and if we have insects, we toss a handful of insects in there.
What kind of insects are you talking?
I do crickets. I know there are people who do like roaches. I don't like to do roaches because since I have everything in bio, they can burrow down into it, and I worry about them breeding and then them eating roaches that are deficient in calcium and having issues.
Sure. Makes sense. And there's not really a good feeder because they're kind of derpy, like a good bowl or something. They'll just knock it over or something probably.
Yeah, you'd need a secure escape-proof bowl. Like I've seen people that have like bowls secured to the side of the tank that are deep. And they are actually pretty smart. Like they learn where their food is. Yeah. And so if you could get your leechie to understand that bowl is full of roaches and to go for it, that could work.
I think I'd probably just put them in a separate bin to feed them.
Yeah.
This is your feeding
or you
bit.
can just give it.
So.
You can train them to tongue feed too.
Okay, that works too. I'm real anal about that stuff though, so I'd probably do that. I was doing that with my blue tongue, but then I just said whatever. She's such a piece of shit, so she only tongue feeds now. If I just put stuff in her tank, she will crawl over it and look at me like, well, where's my food? And I'm like, it's on your belly now. You dragged it all over the place for the isopods because you're an asshole.
We have a Sudan plated lizard that tongue feeds, and she's so much fun. And the days that she doesn't get bugs and she just gets her salad, she just like hovers over her salad like this, like it's underneath her, and stares at us and makes direct eye contact. Like, are you trying to starve me?
Now, do they eat berries? Do the Sudan plated lizards eat berries?
No, they just eat mix of. I mean, I haven't tried, but she ate tomatoes. She did not like the raspberries we offered. I think they tried blueberries with her. I'm not sure how successful that is, but we mostly give them greens as their primary diet.
So here's what I do to get the greens to be eaten initially. And because I've got some success with greens on her, because she's still young, so she's still mostly protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would take the berries because they, blue tongues love berries, but you can't give them too many. But I would take a berry and mash it up and turn it into like what I call salad dressing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like toss the greens in it. And then she'd be like, oh, yeah, this is awesome.
Definitely do have tomatoes. She loves tomatoes.
See, there you go. Just pop cherry tomato in there, grind it up, done. Look at that. You're learning today. That was my trick to get her to eat the greens. Now she'll eat like dandelions. I can't keep them in there. I've been transplanting them out of the yard, and she keeps eating them. So that's good. That's good because they don't last. But this isn't a show about blue tongues, unfortunately.
I don't know a lot about blue tongues, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
They're pretty dope. I never see her. She goes under that. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see it. There's like a planter with succulents.
Oh yeah.
She goes under the planter. So of course, I put it down to the bottom of the substrate, and she just tipped it over. So yeah, that's who she is.
Just thankless creatures, Just keeping these animals is a thankless job for us.
See, and so they love hanging upside down. Now, what I heard about these guys,
tolerated is what I would call it. I mean, I catch him upside down all the time, but he's tolerating it really well. This is Comfortable Doug.
He looks comfortable.
Have you seen Centaur World?
I have not. We're going to try it out, I think, because I have a 6-year-old and she watches all kinds of crazy stuff.
I hope one viewer has watched Centaur World and gets that reference.
Okay. Anybody? Any of the 7 people watching? If you watch this later and you saw Centaur World with Comfortable Doug, put that in the comments.
Please.
We keep seeing it pop up in our feed, and
it's so good.
What's it like? Like, what's the?
It's like more of a PG rated acid trip.
Oh yeah, I might have to wait on that for my 6-year-old. But
no. I watch it with my kids all the time.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you're like, what is happening?
Like Adventure Time or something like that. Like
yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Okay, in that zone.
There is an overarching theme about a war between different worlds. So they talk about people dying, but there's no actual blood or anything.
Well, yeah, probably not. She's
like cartoon violence. You know what I mean?
Good. That's plenty. That's plenty good for me. All right, we're gonna check out Centaur World. It's probably gonna be just as goofy as the other crap we watch. So
I got so much cleaning done because my kids hyper-focused for 3 hours, which is difficult with a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and 5-year-olds.
That's a good thing. That's a blessing.
And one of my employees, her daughter is 9, and they just watch Centaur World together all the time. It's so funny. It's so good.
That's too good. That's role models. So now when you're breeding these guys, like you get them, you can't mix and match pairs, right? You can't be like, okay, Lilac loves Comfortable Doug, and so they've been paired for 3 years. I'm going to put Lilac with Jerk Off Joe, and they're going to make babies.
You can, but you have to reacclimate them to a new animal. and you run a risk of them being rejected. Typically, once people manage to get their animals to bond, they don't like to flip-flop pairs because that whole process can be really difficult.
So, so that leads to my question, like, do you know what kind of, like, color situation you're going to get or pattern situation you're going to get out of these guys? Or is it pretty random?
They're pretty much all barred, pink or white and barred animals. Like, you can kind of see how he's got those pink bars.
Yeah.
Some of them, it looks like a skin disorder. So it's just like splatterings of pink spots. But it's pretty much varying degrees of reds, pinks, and whites.
Okay, so it just matters. Whatever pattern shows up. Some are more vibrant than others.
Yeah, some of them have like a brighter pink because, like, I showed you a couple new Anos with varying degrees of patterns. Yeah. Like this one doesn't have the greatest pattern and it's very light. So it's got lichen has white, and so this one has like a lightish pink, and the color isn't very saturated. Whereas this one has like saturated red pink bars.
Okay.
And that's from the same island. And then, like, as you get bigger, you get typically less pattern and like a deeper base color. Like the Poindemes and Yates are known to be almost black.
Okay. So that's like a regional thing. They have the different situations. So then when you do a mix,
vary based on what section of the island they were created, because the natural geography of the island creates pocket populations that only breed with each other. And so it's like basically generations of nature's line breeding.
That's kind of cool. That's actually really, really cool. They just figured out line breeding on their own. They didn't need any help.
Unintentionally, but it happened.
Now, are they doing morphs? Like, are people doing?
Yes. There is somebody who thinks that they have an albino Leachie. So they're working on proving that out. There is also a melanistic line that is like super dark. And they think that it is a gene because when compared to siblings that may carry but do not express the trait, it is like drastically different. There's also hypo Leachies. So we got hypermelanistic, hypomelanistic, and possibly albino. They're trying to prove it out.
So what's prove it out? Like a blood test or something? Or
so when you prove out a gene, you have a visual. So this is albino, pretend. This is albino. Sure. In here, I have an animal who is not albino. So you have a visual and a non-albino. You cross them, all of their offspring, if this is a true gene, will carry the gene. So it'll be considered 100% heterozygous for albino. So it carries the gene.
Okay.
If you breed a 100% heterozygous to 100% heterozygous, statistically, a fourth of the offspring should be visual albinos, which means they have both recessive sides to carry it.
Okay.
And so you prove it out by making more animals that look identical to the original. You prove it is a viable, reproducible gene.
Jesus. So that'll take a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, okay, so I've been in the reptile hobby. I don't know how old you are. I'm going to be 50 in a couple of years. So I've been in it on the outskirts. I don't own anything. I just am like a voyeur, right? I'm a peeping Tom for reptiles. So when I was new, like they didn't even have really like leopard geckos were just getting albinos and heteros and all this, I guess hetero, right? So heterozygous. And there weren't really morphs. That's when it was like starting. And so the first albino was like this sign from God. Like it was insane. But like nobody else had albino, like anything. There were like some tortoises. There were some other random lizards. And now it seems like every time I turn around, like, oh, we found this, like isopods. Okay, so I'm into isopods and every species of isopod. Oh, we've got lemon blues. Oh, 6 weeks later, we've got albino lemon blues. Like what is happening?
A lot of times in isopods, what happens if people will go out collecting, especially in Thailand, people go out to Thailand and collect these by the hundreds, if not the thousands.
Sure.
And in those instances, when you're not breeding them, but you're still collecting them in wild scenarios, it's just a numbers game of how many thousands you go through when you finally find that one. Like a shiny Pokemon. That's what shiny Pokemon are based on. Natural color variation.
Albinos?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
1 in 10,000, I think the rate is, because that's the 1 in 10,000 you'll have a wild type mutation.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Man. All right. I love my shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Except when they're totally stupid. It's like one hue different, and it's like, stop. Why did you make that? This is not a shiny. So, it's bogus. It's just bogus. There you go. Just hang out on her back. You're good there, buddy.
This is Lycan. She was my first one. So you can kind of see how she has decent-sized spots, but they're not really bars, and they're white and not pink. But
Okay.
she is valuable in not so much her visual traits. She's an F2, so 2 generations removed from the wild. Okay. So her grandparents were wild caught animals. So she's considered more genetically diverse than the majority of new Annas in the hobby.
Okay.
Which
That's cool.
can be valuable because if reptiles are having reduced fertility, a lot of times it's because they are too related. And if you get one closer to the wild, less removed from the wild, they can have genes that have been lost with continuous hobby reading.
So you can keep them. And that's another reason to keep the genealogies like as well as possible. So you know, like, okay, I sold you this. I did this. We were talking about that briefly a while ago, but I think it's good to kick back into it because you want to keep that gene pool like spicy, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want it to get all bland and
fresh and deep,
homogenous. What's that?
Fresh and deep.
Yeah, there you go. Fresh and deep. That's another good title for a book. So, all right, we're gonna give her a break, kind of, from being on the big screen. Actually, you can see her better now. Those are really white spots. Now, these guys flare. So is she flared up too?
She is fired up, yes. Fired down. Actually, one of her daughters over here is fired down. I can show you.
See if I can show you guys on this one why they're scrotums. No, you can't see.
What's that?
Lycan, my comparison to these guys to scrotums is so Lycan, when you had her up to the camera, like kind of close, you could see she had like veins. It was like, veiny. So yeah.
So this one here is fired up, and this one is fired down. It just looks pallid and pastel.
So they're just like real. Such a difference. Such a difference.
And these two are siblings.
Those two are siblings.
Yep.
Okay. Like one's obviously older than the other.
Yes. One of them is like a couple months older.
Oh, that's all? Okay. So they grow. How long does it take them to reach their full size? You said like 5
years?
For
new Annas, my experience has typically been about 3 years.
Okay.
At about 2 years, they get close to the 120, 150 gram mark. I like to wait 3 years old when they reach 200 grams because I feel like their reproductive system is fully developed.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's a better idea. And they're comfortable in their own skin kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. They're mature on a lot of levels at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? So we got a few questions left, and I keep forgetting what they are because I'm like into these Leachies. What do I need to have them as a pet? What do I need to have in place for a pet Leachie?
So an appropriate sized enclosure. For the larger ones, I'm not entirely versed on how I'd recommend keeping them. But for the new Annas, what I recommend is an 18 by 18 by 24 inch Exoterra. It's about an equivalent of 30 gallons. You'll see more activity if you offer some sort of lighting, like just an LED lighting if you want it planted. I don't recommend planting, though, because they will obliterate their plants.
Okay. Even tough stuff like pothos or whatever, they'll just destroy it.
It's just, they get really anxious, and then they just sprint across the tank, and they tear up everything in its wake with their long nails, you know?
Okay.
So they'll just rip those pothos right out of where they're rooted. Crossing branches, rather than straight up branches, I really prefer cork bark because it's wide and can support their weight. and they just like to sit on it and hide. Pangea 3 times a week, Pangea or Rapace 3 times a week, and then insects twice a week, minimum once. And room temperature between 70 and 80 degrees. They can tolerate higher temperatures better than crested geckos. So like up to 85, I've heard people keeping them at, but I prefer to be safe and keep it below 80.
Okay, so they like it a little. They're just like the Caledonians. They like it a little on the cool side compared to a lot of other reptiles. Okay, good. All good things.
We mist every other day when we feed. But since ours are bio, the substrate, we have an inch of substrate in the bottom of every tank, sometimes more. That helps maintain the humidity. If somebody is keeping them in like a sterile setup and paper towel, I would recommend daily spraying. A key part of that is that the setup must dry out completely in between spraying, or they can get basically skin rot from being constantly wet.
Oh, okay. So don't do that. Like, just, let it retain a little bit. And then your sub, what are you using for your sub in those guys?
I just use potting soil. I like Pro Mix potting soil the best.
Okay. All right. Easy enough.
I've heard of people using topsoil, but that doesn't hold moisture very well. So really any potting soil that doesn't have chemical plant food additives is safe.
You want to keep it the organic style. Yeah.
Well, even organic ones can have chemical additives depending on it. But so just like avoid something that says Miracle Grow slow release plant food. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unless it literally says plant food and it's not something like bat guano, it's safe.
So not bat guano. Don't just buy a bag of bat guano. That seems to come up a lot on this show.
Bat guano smells so bad. Have you smelled it?
I have not. I drew the line at chicken blood fertilizer, which is what I use in my gardens.
Smells like
is the worst.
Stale seafood.
Well, I've heard of stories of cavers who went into bat caves and like passed out and almost died, or if they went alone, they died because the ammonia. Yep. Oh, they couldn't breathe. Like they couldn't take in oxygen because the ammonia from the bat shit was just like overwhelming. So, and it burns your skin. Like you can't get it on your skin. It like
the stuff that I get is treated for use in gardens.
Okay.
So I haven't noticed an ammonia smell because of whatever treatment process they put it through.
So what are you using bat guano with?
I mix it into the isopod diet. 42 ingredients. It's one of them.
Different strokes for different folks. Aye. So, yeah, don't let Kevin watch this episode. I get it. They eat it.
I think Kevin would like my approach because I'm not just dumping bat guano in tubs. It's basically a multivitamin for isopods. There's so many.
Almost a supplement.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a supplemental thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not, he's talking, I think his main thing is like and you know exactly what Kevin I'm talking about. That's great.
I love Kevin. He's so funny.
He's great. He texted me the other day. He's like, I'm coming on your show to talk about this. And I was like, that's the first time that's ever happened where someone just told me they're coming on.
I need to let my feelings out.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't about like beef this time. This is about bacteria and fungi. And I'm like, that's really broad. So let's dial that back a little bit. So we're going to definitely talk about that. But yeah, he's not a fan of the people that try to put it in, or worm castings like in their substrate. Like it doesn't
make sense to mix it in.
Add what people are talking about it adding. It adds too much like acidity. It's not great. So, but I was there. I did it when I started because that was the like general consensus.
There was a trend for a while where people like were selling isopod substrate, all-purpose isopod substrate. You don't need leaf litter. And I had so many people emailing me about why did all my isopods die? I use this substrate. And I'm like, do you have leaves? And they're like, no, I don't need them. And I'm like, you definitely need them.
Yeah, you definitely need them. I was just talking to Eddie Lopez about it, and like his most successful bins have like layers and layers of leaf litter. Like you literally, I think Wally's the first one that said it to me. The first one that it connected, but like you can't have enough really. No. If you have, the only time you have too much of it is busting out the top of the thing. But like they use every layer is like nanoclimates.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So,
I used to like, people would be like, why are my isopods dying? And I'm like, you need more leaves. And they'll be like, it's like so many people tell me not to be a gatekeeper. I'm like, whatever. You guys are gonna kill your bugs. I mean, it makes it easier for me. So.
How is that? These are the things that piss me off. So there's 3 words now that piss me off. Like gatekeeper's one, because gatekeeper gets used when you say something that that specific person doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
But you stick by it because it's your thing, right? Like you said, like fine, don't do it. Let your isopods die. That's fine. I'm not telling you to get out of the hobby because you don't use leaf litter. I'm just telling you your shit's gonna die. So gatekeeper, and then what's the other one? Woke. Nobody knows what woke means, so stop saying woke for anything. It's fine. Just let people have opinions about things. We don't have to label it. And what's the other one? Oh, the gaslighting. The gaslighting is like the liberals' version of woke. Like, conservatives use the term woke because they don't know what it means, and liberals use gaslighting, and they totally misinterpret what it means. And then you have gatekeeper, which is getting.
It gets really intense because it's such a neurodivergent hobby,
It is, and people.
There's a lot of people with big feelings.
Yeah. Yes. Only big feelings. So I'm right there. I need to give my duckies more leaves. Yes, Jedi, you need to give your duckies more leaves, and then you won't see them for longer. It'll be awesome. He was saying he hopes that they breed. He just got them, and he hopes they breed fast. And I just laughed out loud because that's not going to happen. No. Unless you got like 50 of them. Maybe you got.
I hate
50.
duckies. They're so pointless. I hate them.
Dude, this might be why we get along. I appreciate that they're the mascot of the hobby, but
they're the pandas of isopods.
They are. They're the ambassador, right? I hate pandas too, so it makes sense.
I also hate pandas.
Dude, we need to talk offline.
Yeah, we'll just get distracted.
We're off the rails completely. You did mean relatively fast, Jedi. Yeah, I'm making t-shirts for my fourth wall page that says F pandas, and then I have to find a panda image or draw a panda image or something because a Buster sign. It's got to have a Buster sign. Okay, so Leachies, are they endangered in the wild? Are we working with that situation?
I don't think they are considered endangered. I can't say specifically because I didn't research that. Since I mean, if I were to be working with wild-caught animals, that's something I really look into. But there's a very, very, I mean, like, I think the last specimens they brought over prior to last year were in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah, because they kind of shut it down, right? They basically
it's basically an extension of Australia, which has the most strict import-exportation laws. And they had to lock it down because I think of what happened in like the 1800s, early 1900s. But they didn't even start collecting from animals from New Caledonia until like the 1980s.
Okay, so that was when they first started doing it. Mm-hmm. So, which on the one hand, cool because we get to see them, but at least do some more documentaries. If you're not going to let them out, do some documentaries. I got kicked out of a Western Australia bug group because I'm not from Australia. I was like, I just commenting on stuff, and somebody was like, what part of Australia are you from? Oh, the U.S. part. They were like, you got to go. I just want to see your cool bugs. What the hell? So, no, that's cool. That's cool that they kind of shut it down and said,
they're very protective of their wildlife, which is good.
That is good.
There are still people who smuggle it out, but I don't think there was ever really any concern with Leachies. They are the apex predator of the island. And I don't think that there are many invasive animals. Like Australia has a big issue with rats and cats.
Sure. Yep.
Preying in most of their species. But I think New Caledonia kind of escaped a lot of that. I've heard of like expeditions. Like Pangea just did an expedition last year. But it's so protective and it's so expensive to go there. And honestly, not many people know about it. Like they know about Australia and blue-tongued skinks and stuff like that. I'd never heard of New Caledonia before I started hoarding these weird little lizards.
Before you started hoarding? I hadn't heard about it either. Like I'd heard about cresties. Obviously, they've been in the hobby for just about ever, and they're awesome. But I didn't know where they were from. Like, oh, did they become attached to people like their caregiver?
No.
No. No.
They do tolerate people better than others based on your smell, but I wouldn't say that they're attached to me. I think that they know based on my smell, I have no intentions of eating them. So they don't
They're
have
comfortable. They're more comfortable with you.
They're comfortable.
Okay.
Like comfortable Doug. They're comfortable around me.
They're like comfortable reptiles with comfortable Doug.
Yeah.
Is comfortable Doug comfortable? Or is he a jumpy?
He's comfortable and everyone else around him is not.
Got you. Wait, I'm talking about the lizard. I'm not talking about the...
Oh, no. Every single one of my leechies constantly looks like they're having a panic attack.
Is that just normal for them?
Yeah, it's just the way their faces are.
That's just because their eyes.
Just the way their faces are.
Okay. I'm like, wait, are they like neurotic?
Most of them are pretty chill, but I'm kind of manhandling them to show the patterns to you.
Yeah.
And they do not like it.
They're not they're not supposed to be here. This is not normal for them.
I'm not meant to be seen.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be an idea. You have a visual in your mind and you tap on it about once a year.
Well, I drew that one in the thumbnail. That was going to be good enough. That was all I needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did my cool thing where I traced someone's picture and see. That was like a magic trick. Right? It was like,
here he is, and there he goes.
No mas.
But look at him. He looks like he's freaking out. Like, why am I here?
It's weird because their eyes are no bigger comparatively than a Cresty, but Cresties just look chill. That's like a viper.
Yeah. They have more brain cells than Cresties. They have enough to have anxiety.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Cresties are just hella dumb. All right. Which is verifiable.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Laura. Does anyone else have any other questions about crested or about about Leachianus non-crested geckos main predator?
About the poop pickles.
About what?
My poop pickles.
Poop pickles. The poop pickles. That'd be a great sticker. Do they all have the same eye color?
They have the same eye color unless they're a mutation. So, like, the albinos and hypos have a different eye color, which is what leads them to believe they're albino. But they all have, like, that weird bluish color.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I'm checking my words here as I'm saying that. But, like, every single one of these has the same eye color.
I don't understand how they don't know it's an albino. Like, does it not have pigment? Like,
so it doesn't have dark pigment, and typically most albinos are white, yellow, or pink.
Right. So it's got albinism, maybe, but it's not like the albino. Is that what you're saying?
Albinism can refer to different visual traits. Like you have Tremper albino, and then there's another albino in leopard geckos.
Yeah, right. Because Tremper's like the dude who did it, right?
Yeah. But they're different genes of albino. So some albinos are straight white, some albinos are straight yellow. I mean, you have Tyros, T positive and T negative, and isopods of different degrees of yellowing in albino. So albino may present itself differently in other animals. Corn snakes albinos are white with a pink tinge and pink eyes. Right,
which is what you think of standard albino. So
yeah. My blood python, there's T negative blood pythons, which are considered true albino because they're tyrosinase negative. Very vivid yellow base, but they still have like the orange stripes. You know, I've never seen, there's white bull pythons, but that is a different gene entirely because they have black eyes and it's called leucism. The albinos are all yellow.
So like leucistic. You're talking leucistic.
Mm-hmm.
Right, leucism. Is that, am I right? Okay.
I know this isn't really about genes, but leucism is like, it's kind of fun because it refers to a whole family of traits. Did you know that Dalmatians are considered leucistic?
Nope. Don't like Dalmatians either.
Is any trait or any mutation that prevents pigment from being expressed in a specific area of the body. So leucism can range from an all black animal with a white spot on its chest to piebald animals, which are half and half black and white, to Dalmatians that have a white base with black spotting, because it specifically inhibits dark pigment from a certain part of that animal.
Okay, so like you could have a really light birthmark or something, and so then you're like a
yes,
or like what's the one thing? Oh my god, I can't think of it. I was just talking about this with the other day, where they have where people have like the almost piebald, but it's like the blotchy skin.
Are you talking about vitiligo?
Vitiligo, yes. I
call
it vitiligo, but yes, vitiligo.
I think that's a viral thing.
Oh, I thought it was like a genetic.
No,
okay.
It isn't genetically passed on.
Okay, so it's not leucistic. Okay.
Yeah, that's something.
I was going to call someone leucistic, and now I'm not going to do that. That seems very disrespectful. Like extra disrespectful now.
The classic leucistic is like a white crow with just black eyes. Because it prevents pigment from being deposited anywhere in the body except for the eyes. So that's like classic leucistic.
That's like the original, the OG recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they don't really have that with these guys yet.
No. Just hypomelanism, hypermelanism, and possible albino. And I think it's a yellow lychee.
If that guy proves it out, like what are we talking?
I think he's
what are we talking China. For value? Huh?
He's in China, so a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah, because those guys, wow.
They know what they're doing out there.
Somehow they've got a whole crazy
system. Sorry, I misspoke. I believe it's Korea. Korea is the people. Okay. Korea has a lot of breeders with really high-end animals.
That's cool.
They really went hard during COVID buying animals, which is why all the prices skyrocketed.
Oh.
And then they stopped buying when they had enough stock, and then the prices just plummeted because everyone was breeding to meet Korea's demand. And then Korea didn't demand it at all anymore. So the market was like, everyone is so mad. And I was like, I can't believe you guys didn't see this coming.
What is shipping? I gotta imagine what is shipping like to Korea. Like there's all kinds of paperwork and BS you have to deal with. Like,
it's not that bad because there's the initial shipment price. And then there's the per animal price. So the more people you get in on a shipment to split the overhead price, the more reasonable it is. I imported a mutation of a crested gecko. I got in on a box, and the animal I paid $500 for, and I think fees included it was like $650.
That's not crazy.
No,
I feel like that's almost similar to the overland shipping that we do here when you get animals. Like some of the shipping.
We had somebody coordinating it because I don't personally fill the paperwork, permit work, whatever. It's too complicated for me. So we had a company that handled the package because it has to pass through like 4 sets of hands before it gets to us. And we're talking about a package that is like tens of thousands of dollars in animals.
Yeah, that's daunting. I would definitely want someone to take care of that for me because I would have I'd have that lychee face the whole time.
Right?
It's over there.
Right.
Come out. All right, now we know some ins and outs. Hopefully somebody learned something today. I did, which is important. So, again, is it funny to me? Yes. Did I learn something? Yes. Success.
Awesome. Success. Perfect. I hope you also enjoyed my children's artwork.
Always. I mean, I'm a child, and this is my artwork. So, actually, this is Lucci did this sticker, but I colored it in. I'm coloring it in. We're doing a remodel down here, so everything's going to be moved, so I kind of stopped. And my perler bead Muppets are. If you don't like the Muppets, I don't really want to know anything.
I like the Muppets. Who doesn't like the Muppets? I guess sociopaths.
Some people. Ozzy Osbourne, for one. Yeah. Okay, good. Cassandra learned something too. Good. She had the most questions, so I was hoping she learned something.
Yeah, I hope I answered her questions. So it made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for coming on and talking about this again. And I'm going to be texting you about, or IMing you about panda hatred because I don't know anyone else who. That's the perfect face. That's the face I make every time someone like, "Oh, look at this panda."
So Okay, well, thank you, and you have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you so much, Laura. Always a pleasure. Guys, Laura on again. We finally had the damn Leachies on here. So we got to do it. She's making hand signals. It's really funny. You guys don't know, but I can see people after I tick them out. I can't hear them, though. So she could be saying some awful things. So, guys, we're working on, I'm asking people to help me fund a big project. So I had this idea, and I'm working on it with a couple people. Like, we're in the planning phase now, but we need to get to a money phase. So we want to build a website where you can go or send your friends to go. It would be a hub for links to completely verifiable sellers, educators, care sheets. We would host our own care sheets if we could find experts that don't have their own website or a resource for a website to store care sheets. We could put them there. This would be like every species we can think of, every kind of a thing that we can get on there. We're going to try to get on there. So it'll do everything the IsoBuddies wants to do. We already have the domain. It's husbandryhub.com. I want to build it right. So that takes money. I don't really have money. So I just have ideas and planning. And I bought the web domain. So we have that part done. Now I want to be able to pay people. We've had some people like offer some time, but people are busy. I'd rather we actually compensate someone for it. So I'm going to be putting in all of the money from the Patreon is going to go to that for the next however long it takes to get it going. And if anybody wants to join the Patreon, awesome. Or the Patreon, yeah, it's isobuddies.patreon.com or the other way around. It's in the description. So we really want to do that. We really want to get that going. So we'll be linking to people that we've verified. I've got a group of people together who are completely trustworthy and totally do their homework and are going to make this a reality. So I really want to do it. The sooner we get the funds, the sooner we can do it. So if it's something that you want to see, I'll give out my PayPal, whatever. So, and we'll keep the receipts for anybody that wants to see receipts. And then we'll have like a credits in the about page for everybody who donated. So we can see everybody who made it happen. So if you have it in your heart or your brain to help us fund this thing, that would be superb. So far, it's the Patreon people. So I've got like 2 months of Patreon money or 3 months of Patreon money, which isn't a ton, but it's something. So, and the rest of the Patreon money is going to go there. So, yeah, if that's something you want to do, that's the most begging I've ever done. Yeah, you can just throw your wallet at me if you see me at the show in Schaumburg. That'll work too. I probably will spend it there, but it's Schaumburg. So, yeah, it's the most begging I'll ever do because I think this is a really good idea and I think it needs to happen. It needs to be a thing. So there is a lot of information out there. The point of it is there's a lot of information if you want to look up, say, like Justin, you want to look up information on rubber duckies. There's 50 different places you can go and you're going to get 50 different answers, more or less. This would weed that out. You could send people straight to this website. They're going to get reputable information, good information. Maybe they're going to have 3 or 4 links to go to that has different information. It's going to be good and verifiable. Each one of those techniques is going to be good and verifiable. Like me just saying add leaf litter is great. Everyone's going to say that, but that's like one of my main husbandry tips. And that's not, you're going to need more than that. So anyway, that's the plan. It's already kind of set up. We have a group of people that are involved already. We have a bunch of people that want to be involved as far as contributions. So help me help you to put this community in something bigger. So, and again, any animal we can come up with, we're going to put links to this, these care sheets and this information out there. So, yeah, that's all I got. So visit SmugBug, get some stuff. She's going to be in Schaumburg. I'm going to be in Schaumburg. Wally's going to be in Schaumburg. There's going to be 1 million people in Schaumburg. So you can come to Schaumburg in June, I think it is. Come on out. Come on out. We want to see you. We want to meet you. So I know Wally and I had a plan to walk around and do some filming or just sit in one place and do some filming, whatever. We'll be there doing some stuff. So come get a picture. with me and my camera. I want a picture of you. How's that? So anyway, I love you guys. Have a great week, and thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I think next week is the Kevin Nasser one. I'm not 100%. No, next week Russ Wilson and I are going to go over the Wildlife Illustrated zoo cards from 1978 or something. So the horrible ones, the ones that are super outdated. So we're going to have fun with that. So you guys have a good week. Again, thanks again. Bye-bye.